cubicles over. Honk. All right, friends. With our one last honk, we are ready for Sonic CD. Give it up for our runners.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're ready for more Sonic Block. We have our Sonic CD Tails race here. We have our runners. Starting from my left and going to the right, we have Sonikkustar, Finalflame, and Flying Fox. Just because we won't really have the time in the run to introduce ourselves here on the couch, starting from my left, we have ShaneKilz.
Hi.
Joeybaby69.
Yo.
I'm AmberCyprian. This is TGH, and this is Sonic and Tails and Tails and Tails and Knuckles and Eggman. But yeah, I think just a quick heads up, we are playing on the Steam version, and we will get into the rest of the game as we get going. So does anyone want to count us down?
Oh, wait, before that, so these runners are playing on the Japanese version. If anyone knows how Palm Tree Panic Act 1 starts in the Japanese version, we go, woo, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be great if the audience in the back can all chant at the same time the music does. That'd be great.
Sounds good.
All right, awesome.
A little reward for the JP soundtrack winning.
All right, so I guess we'll count it down, all right?
All right. So 3, 2,
2,
1,
go!
Woo! Yeah! So this is Sonic CD 2011. This game came out obviously in 2011. It's on Android, iOS, Steam, Xbox 360, PS3, and this is very different from the 93 version because you can play as Tails. You can't do that in the 93 version. You have to beat the game as Sonic to unlock Tails, and he can fly and swim just like in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. You can spin dash, but you cannot peel out like Sonic. And that was a stage.
So in the US version, it's actually slower by 45 seconds RTA because the US version has a longer, clear jingle at the end of every zone. So it would, you know, for a marathon like this, it'd be faster to play in Japanese. Like, woo!
So we have that fast flight bounce off of those speed shoes there. One thing you'll notice about Tails very quickly, because he can fly, he can cheese a lot of these levels that Sonic just simply can't. And that bounce is actually pretty precise to get off of those speed shoes. Thankfully, all the runners seem to have gotten it, and they managed to get far enough to be able to hit the signpost.
Yeah, you'll learn throughout the run that this game was not designed for Tails in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, no. Like, this game by design is a much more vertical platformer than any other side-scrolling Sonic. Tails doesn't care. But the boss fights are also very unique to this game. They're very unconventional. They have different amounts of HP and different ways to fight them. And also, you jump into this first boss fight to make him spawn faster, so that the screen's in the right position.
Yeah,
and
that's the boss.
And we take advantage of our iframes to be able to just get all 3 hits very quickly. Eggman did not try his hardest there.
Our runners really close to each other. Speaking of runners, their PBs are around 3 seconds apart from each other.
Yes, so Flying Fox has a PB of 1140. Sonic, who just got a PB like maybe an hour ago in the practice room of 1142, and Finalflame has a time of 1143. World record is by Ralphomir with an 1138.93.
Yes,
and
so that shows that these runners are like really in par with their skill level. They're incredibly like talented.
And this is all timed by in-game time. So for those of you following along at home, if you add up all the timers at the end of every stage and boss, you'll get their actual time that would be relevant to the leaderboards. But for all intents and purposes, for GDQ, we are using RTA.
So all 3 of these runners did a pause buffer method where if they jump up the slope and fly, they can just fly through like the entirety of the stage.
And it's important that they used a one-tap spin dash on the red spring that sends them up into orbit, essentially. But we're going to move into Collision Chaos 2. There are several ceilings in this game that just aren't blocked. There's one, I think, that is. But for most part, that one in particular is not blocked. So you just fly up to the top. The wall doesn't extend all the way up. And we're gonna grab some speed shoes in a little bit. At some point. There they are.
Yeah.
And this actually introduces our first instance, I believe, of time travel. Actually, no, I'm like a stage ahead, aren't I?
Yeah, their first, well, Finalflame told me their first and only time travel they're planning to do is Untitled Tempest 2.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, next to each other, like not bad.
This is a really close race as far as RTA is concerned, for sure.
So in Collision Chaos 3, they blocked off the ceiling for the beginning of Act 3, so you have to do the pinball boss. For some reason, they didn't consider it in any other stage, for whatever reason. I mean, that's great. And CD's 93, you could jump right over it with Sonic, but they patched this out for the 11 version.
Yeah, they actually thought that one through. But if you like Sonic Spinball, I'm sorry. Because we're not going to be in it for very long.
I believe the spike balls that Eggman shoots are completely random. So
yeah, they can be thrown in any direction, and it can be pretty obnoxious. Thankfully, you know, they got through pretty okay. With Sonikku definitely having a really good time of a 1736 there.
So coming to Title Tempest 1, so they're gonna do another jump towards the ceiling. It's very notorious because there is a chance they can get sub-pixeled. Actually,
the nope slope, as we call it, is dead.
Oh, yeah.
So what Sonic usually does is he can do a super peel out, right? From the crumbling blocks over to the slope at the very beginning, and then you bounce off the enemy, get on the ceiling. With Tails doesn't have that peel out ability, so he used to have to spin dash, like they'd get onto solid ground and then spin dash back onto the slope, and that introduced what we called sub-pixels that can just cause Tails to fall straight down. Instead, we just spin dash from the crumbling blocks like Sonic peels out. And
fortunately,
that got rid of it.
Finalflame's flubbing it twice right now, but yeah, it's a really difficult jump. It's the old method used to be, you know, spin dashing in a certain spot and hoping you don't get.
There we go.
There we go.
You would hit that crumbling flap.
Yeah.
And while it seems like going back to the menu is slower, it's even at times it's actually faster in RTA, but it's certainly faster in in-game time than trying to do the level normally or just restarting. So definitely no harm, no foul going into that menu there, and it's entirely valid for the run.
Dude, having our first time travel
right there.
So the two big differences, the two things important for time traveling, depending if you're in the past or the future to present, the level layout actually changes. And depending on where you are, it's actually beneficial to change the level layout. And for Title Tempest 2, you would be blocked off if you, at the beginning here, where we're gonna see Q-Star going back to the present because there is a crusher right there.
Yeah, oh God.
There's a chance if you just try to wing it, you could get crushed, but on the present, it's gone.
Yep, and you also end up on the other side anyways, most of the time. And time travel just saves like a lot of hassle because I was shown the present route, like if you didn't time travel, and it's just like 5 obstacles before the crusher, and I'm like, this is obnoxious. No wonder you time travel.
Yeah, so it has its benefits, but has its cons as well. If you have speed shoes leading up to a time travel, you will lose it. So in most scenarios where you would have the speed shoes to traverse through the level, but you're having a time travel ready up to go, you could stop your movement, which how to activate a time travel is to keep your momentum for X amount of time, so the time travel will complete.
We need serious time for this boss. It's
yeah,
very,
sure.
very difficult. Very difficult. All right, cool. We got through. No problem. But no, actually, that boss is significantly harder as Sonic because in the casual playthrough, you're expected to, he has those bubbles around him, and you're expected to inhale all those bubbles to be able to actually access Eggman. Tails doesn't care because he can swim. He just swims up into the hitbox with invincibility active, and the boss only has 1 HP. So, there you go. Now, moving into, we're in Quartz Quadrant now. We're actually gonna stop time travel from this point forward. Anytime we activate time travel, we don't want to maintain enough speed to actually fully activate it. So that's because we want to preserve things like speed shoes and, you know, proper routes and everything. And most classic Sonic games, your top route is usually your fastest route. CD is not quite like that. There are top routes, and then there are bottom routes or mid routes that are just faster as well.
I believe in Courts 2, they will try this again, where they want to keep the speed shoes and avoid any kind of time travel.
Oh, yeah. So here in Quartz Quadrant 2, there's going to be a, this is a case where we want to actually get up to the top of the stage. Because, like I said, the top path is very often the fastest, but not always. And there's speed shoes there.
I believe the runners have, I think Sonikkustar does a top route. I believe they have...
Yeah, I believe Flying Fox and Finalflame have a bottom route strat for this.
But more or less the same. Don't get hit, keep that speed, avoid time travel.
Oh, absolutely. We're gonna move into Quartz Quadrant 3. This is where Tails becomes your fitness teacher. And you'll understand, I want everyone at home to like get up and just get ready to jog in place for a little while we set up this boss. And once we actually get into the boss room, it'll be a great time for donations. And I'll let you know in just a moment. Because it's just...
Yeah, so,
the boss is great.
Yeah, so Sonikkustar try to do a spin dash on those like ramp slopes with the conveyor belt. It's really difficult. If you try to spin dash, if at any point you're in a slope while you do it, you'll just jump and, you know, fly, which will be really slow.
Exactly. So we'd like to do, you have time for like 1, maybe 2 donations?
Sure thing. We have $20 from Kirby Master. Kirby Master donating because he's sad about no more Nope Slope. This donation goes towards the Feed FF Pizza fundraiser. In other words, this goes to FF's donation choice. Which FF? The one that beats the other FF. Or Sonikkustar, if he wins too.
So we've got Eggman doing the hot foot dance. Because, you know, Tails, I don't understand how Tails is able to stay on the treadmill when he's moving with his tails propelling him. I don't understand. Like, with Sonic, it makes sense, but Tails should just go past him?
Magic.
Logic.
One or the other.
So, a lot of people don't really like Wacky Workbench, whether it's casually or speedrunning, and Wacky Workbench 1 is... It's a thing.
You have a couple gimmicks throughout the stage based on different timers. The gimmick with the bouncing around and some of the platforms are based off of when you enter the level. They'll launch you up to the top of the stage, and they want to avoid hitting that ground as much as possible. They'll fly through the area trying to avoid it, and trying to even abuse it to get through the stage as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you can already see on Sonikkustar's screen that the stage has a lot of, it's very claustrophobic, it's very vertical, and it's the antithesis to all things fast.
If anyone hasn't been noticing, the level layout, the level design and where things are placed is very hodgepodge. Everything is just everywhere.
I've always thought that the way Sonic CD stages were designed was that one of the developers gave their kid, their child, the debug mode of Sonic 1 and 2, gave them all the objects and said, hey, you're making the next mainline Sonic game, have at it. That's how it feels to me.
But Wacky 2, more of the same, but not as chaotic because you don't have much, there's not much modes where you're having to deal with the floor, which is the main problem with Wacky 1 in general.
Yeah, that floor that launches you upwards, because that can completely throw off what you're doing, but in that case, it's helpful because it gets Tails to the end of the stage there.
Sure.
And then here in Wacky Workbench 3, as we get ready to go into it, it's a boss fight that actually really shows what Fast Flight is. And what Fast Flight is, if you jump and you time the start of your flight at a certain point, you actually get significantly more height and more speed vertically to be able to reach higher distances than you would just mashing jump and flight immediately off the ground. And both 2 out of 3 of these runners have a visual cue for where they want to get for these rock cycles, because otherwise you have to wait for the rocks to fall, you land, you jump on it, and then the floor propels you upwards. But we're hoping we can get all 3 of these. We got 2 out of 3 on Sonikkustar, and
He's killing it.
he's killing it. There we go.
He's got 3.
There we go.
Nice. That saves 20 seconds in the run.
This is usually like Wacky in general, this is where runs go to die. It's
Oh, Finalflame just went a little too high there. Not bad, though.
There goes FF. Here comes FF going for it.
All right, we got 1 out of 2.
She's got 2.
There you go.
Oh, that was 2, actually. Okay, I can't count.
That's
FF got
3.
back 3,
Nice.
and FF defeated
Very
the boss.
nice. All right, so start of Speedway 1. This is a stage that, while fine in CD, is much better in Mania. But we do want to stop time travel at some point in this stage just to be able to avoid going to the future or the past. But ultimately, it is just a very straightforward stay on the top route, avoid the shenanigans from the bottom, and like just get to the end. It's definitely a nice refresher after Wacky Workbench.
SS2 is a little bit different. You're gonna actually be going somewhere in the middle, get down to the bottom path, and stay there, and try to avoid the first set of tubes. Gonna get in the second set of tubes and get to the end.
Yeah, it sounds like start of Speedway. We actually have time for one quick donation.
Sure thing. We have $250 from Rathomir. Best of luck to all the Sonic CD
Yo.
runners.
Thank you so much. That's super generous. I hope you're doing well.
May Tails Flight be high, and may Wacky Boop Workbench work in your favor, especially Wacky Workbench 3. Shoutouts to the Sonic speedrun community.
So as we move into start of Speedway 3, this is the iconic stage of the game where you race Metal Sonic. The whole reason we're here, because he kidnapped Amy. But in, like, the whole point of this is that Metal Sonic's race is kind of a diversion for Eggman being at the very back end of the stage with a giant death laser. And thankfully, in this version, he does not rubber band quite like he does in 93. But meanwhile, like, you actually have a very relaxed race with Metal Sonic. It looks like at any point they may end up, like, if Metal Sonic gets ahead of them, it looks like he might suddenly rush to the end and you've lost. No. As long as you actually manage to just get past him at the very end, he rubber bands in favor of the player, while in 93, Robotnik or Eggman rubber bands against the player.
Yeah, but what you need to know is don't look at it as you're racing Metal, look at it as you're racing Eggman. Because it doesn't matter where Metal is for the most part, as long as you just keep your speed. He can be a mile away, but as long as you just keep holding right, avoid getting bonked by any spikes, you'll be fine.
Yep, right there. Very nice race there. And we just kind of like have a victory lap in the little space allotted to us while we wait for Eggman.
Catch up.
Eggman, it's a speed run, come on. I forgot how jamming this soundtrack is.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
So we're gonna move into Metallic Madness, which is the other CD stage that Mania adopted and was made better in Mania because it was just better. Less vertical and less shenanigans, but we have 2 instances of time travel we have to stop because we want to stay in the present. This is so that the pass layout doesn't block a shortcut to the signpost. If you were to end up time traveling to the past, it can be kind of catastrophic because you have to go, instead of just a straight away through to the signpost, like so, that you have to go all the way up and come down.
Yeah, you'd be completely blocked in, so if there's any stage you don't ever want to go to time travel is MM1.
Yeah.
You will, I believe Finalflame told me it's a 10-second time loss, so it's pretty...
It's something like that. It's significant enough to, like, if you're at a high level like these runners are, to want to reset that run. So there's a couple of large skips that Tails can do in Metallic Madness 2. So once again, the ceiling for some reason is not blocked off, despite one of them being blocked off in an earlier stage. So we can fly across the ceiling not once, but twice. And that actually allows us to hit the signpost. In the 93 version, you can't do that. The game soft locks. The signpost does not trigger at all.
Yeah, in 93, you can get up that ceiling just fine, but once you get past the signpost, the game does not register as that, getting through the stage.
Yeah, you'll just be kind of locked in that screen for who knows how long, until you want to reset, I guess.
So Sonikkustar leading up to the final act.
And for anyone who's keeping track of their times back at home, someone tweeted us. Let us know what the IGTs of these runners were, because none of us are keeping track. But we're actually moving into the final boss.
Lizstar accidentally flying really up high and wasting lots of precious time, which is pretty difficult. If you want to go for a spin dash and you accidentally jump upwards,
it loses so much time because Tails. These Fireflies, by the way, are the real final boss. Let's be completely honest.
Their hitboxes are extremely frame dependent. It's really difficult. It looks, they make them look easy, but you can really miss them if you mistime it.
Sonikkustar elite to the final boss. There is what I believe is a 2-frame double hit where Eggman will fall downwards and Tails can get a hit at the very beginning, and 2-frame to get the hit. Oh, there,
nice.
got it.
So you can also pause buffer that. The reason why that's actually really scary is Tails. The boss itself is easy, but that in particular is rough as Tails because his jump height is significant. Is a bit shorter than Sonic's because his hitbox is smaller. So it doesn't quite allot him the same amount of space to do this. And final hit will be time on Sonikkustar's screen.
Leading up to it, he's gonna fall. There you go.
Time on Sonikku. Excellent time there. Same thing coming up on Finalflame as well. Just seconds behind time. Excellent run there. And Flying Fox not far behind at all. Like, these runners are very, very close together.
I believe if anyone timed it by IGT, I believe that they're probably
even
still like,
closer. Yeah. Excellent. That's so good. I don't know who I'm thinking, but like, that was an amazing race.
Great for all 3 runners.
Good job. Glad I could provide some quality commentary.
Oh yeah, like you and the crew here, like absolutely fantastic.
I'm just here.
There, is that bad? There you go.
But seriously, thank you so much to the 3 runners for having us on the couch. It's been fantastic commentating. And thank you, TGH, for being the plushie shelf for the couch. Lots of moral support there.
Actually, you guys did a really good job too.
Yeah, seriously, we couldn't have done this like without like Joey and Shane as well. Like, big props to like the runners. Thank you, GDQ, for having us as well. And yeah, any shout outs, guys? All right, well, stay tuned for the rest of the Sonic block. Joey's going to be up racing Zaxxon in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yeah, I gotta go.
And yeah, just stay tuned and stick around for Sonic 06 as well. Thank you for meeting that incentive.
Wait. Kustar has a shout out.
Kustar has a shout out. Hold on.
I just want to mention all the people throughout the years. Like the past 3 years, CD has gotten like a big explosion in popularity in the community. You know, it used to be just Flying Fox, but over the years, you know, more people have joined to the point where I guess we now have a 3-way race here. So, woo!
Shout outs to the CD community.
Yeah, whole bunch of folks in the community. Kronoon, Match has all them good folks. You know, thank you guys so much for all the support over the years. So, it's been a blast.
All right, I think that's about it for us. Thank you so much, all. Have a good rest of your GDQ.
Absolutely wonderful race. Great job, everyone. I have a few messages here for our runners. We have $10 from CMM1215. Hey, Sonikku, this one's for you. We're all cheering for you in the audience, and I'm excited you're getting to show your stuff at GDQ. Much luck and love, Yosh. And a $50 donation from BS Wolf. Hey Finalflame, your old friend Ben here. Just wanted to advise you while you play Sonic CD to avoid getting into a tails spin. I liked it. But I also live in a trash can, so my, I don't have very high standards. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move to a Twitch ad. We'll be right back. Good afternoon, friends. You're watching AGDQ 2020. We are raising money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation. We're smack dab in the middle of the Sonic block. We'll go ahead and throw a few ads from our sponsors here.
How many years have I waited for the one they called the Warrior of Light?